45 and the Budget and Finance meeting will come to order. I have present Councilmember Droffel, Councilmember Hurt, Councilmember Mendes, Councilmember Roten, Vice Chair Swaran, Councilmember Syracuse, Councilmember Toombs, and Councilmember Van Rees. Am I missing anyone? All right, we do have a quorum. Thank you. We have a lot of items on consent, so it's a very long one, but I think that we should breeze through it. The items on consent are RS 2022-1662, 1663, 1664, 1665, 1667, 1669, 1670, 1671, 1672, 1673, 1674, 1675, 1676, 1677, 1678, 1679, and 1681. Does anything need to come off the consent agenda? All right, so I'll go ahead and read through the caption for the consent agenda. RS 2022-1661, Harlan, Swaran, Evans, and Stiles appropriates $385,000 from fund number 30096 to the Center for Nonprofit Management, which has been selected to receive Public Safety Violence Reduction Pilot Grants funds. RS 2022-1663, O'Connor, Swaran, and others amends Resolution RS 2022-1310 by transferring 100,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funds appropriated from Fund 30216 to the Metro Department of Parks and Recreation, Metro Nashville Police Department, and the Metro Nashville Public Library. RS 2022-1664 by Swaran approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the Davidson County Juvenile Court to develop and implement an evidence-based specialized infant and toddler court to serve children 0 through 36 months. RS 2022-1665, Sledge, Swaran, Withers, and others approves a grant from the Metro Historical Commission Foundation to the Metro Historical Commission to assist with a portion of the costs associated with the site's master plan for Fort Negley Park. RS 2022-1667, Swaran and Evans accepted donation from the Firefighter Hair Coalition to the Metro Nashville Fire Department of a firefighter hair replenishment system, the Nashville Fire Department Training Facility. RS 2022-1669 authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Jenna Chisholm against the Metro government in the amount of $55,000. Item number 9, RS 2022-1670, Allen, Swaran, Evans, and others approves a contract between the Metro Board of Health and Martha O'Brien Center to operate a mobile unit to provide services to current and potential women, infants, and children program recipients. Item number 10, RS 2022-1671, authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Shanice Brown against Metro government in the amount of $11,573. RS 2022-1671 by Swaran authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Clarence Davis against Metro government in the amount of $25,286. Item number 12, RS 2022-1673, Sledge, Allen, Bradford, and others terminates an agreement between the Metro government and the Tennessee Valley Authority, the Nashville Electric Service, and the Adventure Science Center related to the installation of a solar-powered electricity generating facility at the Adventure Service Center. Item number 13, Taylor's RS 2022-1674, Taylor, Swaran, Bradford, and others approves a grant from David P. Crabtree to the Metro Nashville Parks and Recreation Department to provide funding for improvements to Elizabeth Park and the surrounding area. RS 2022-1675, Swaran, Bradford approves a grant from the Friends of Warner Parks to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide seasonal staffing for the Special Work Education and Trails program at Warner Parks. RS 2022-1676, Swaran, Bradford approves a grant package from the Friends of Warner Parks to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to continue funding staff positions and copier costs. Item number 16, IRS 2022-1677, Swaran Bradford accepts an in-kind grant from the Friends of Warner Parks to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide funding for the next phase of improvements in Warner Parks. IRS 2022-1678, Taylor Swara Bradford and others accept an in-kind grant from Sweetens Cove to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to support landscaping, a new flagpole, lighting, signage, and other improvements at the Ted Rose Golf Course. Item number 18, IRS 2022-1679, Taylor Swara Bradford and others accept a donation and grant from the Cobb Center at Vanderbilt in conjunction with Creative Parks Nashville and the Centennial Park Conservancy to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation for the sculpture donation, pathway to a higher note, and annual financial support for maintenance and repair. Item 20, IRS 2022-1681, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Shanitia Smith against the Metro government in the amount of $11,000. And that is all the items on consent. Does any need to come off? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Oppose? Any abstention? All right, you recommend approval. Thank you. Now the items that are not on consent. The first is item number 5, IRS 2022-1666 by Young, Parker, and Swaran, authorizes the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency to enter into a pilot agreement and accept payments in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to a multifamily housing project located at 619 Main Street, known as Stone Bridge Lofts. Can I have a motion? All right, moved and seconded. Councilmember Young. I want you to use your loud voice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, okay. Very loud. Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually have a substitute. Hopefully a committee member will move that. In the caption, there was a typo with the address. All
right, the substitute is being moved, and he just explained the substitute. So can I have a motion on the substitute? All right. Vote on the substitute. All those in favor of the substitute? Any opposition? Any abstention? All right, the substitute is approved. Now your bill is substituted. I love this. All right, all those in favor? Any opposition? Any abstention? All right, you recommend approval.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The next item is item number 7, IRS 2022-1668, Swaran Evans approves an agreement between the United States Drug Enforcement Administration and the Metro Nashville Police Department concerning the use and abuse of controlled substances. Can I have a motion? All right, it's moved and seconded. I pulled this off of consent. I did not put it on consent because I do have a question. Do we have someone from MMPD?
Good afternoon, Commander Gilder, Metro Police Department.
Thank you, sir, for being here. The drug enforcement work is important, and we know it's going to be done, so this is not anything about the grants. But in looking at the analysis, there was a point in there that says that when it comes to, the Metro will be paying the officers, but when it comes to the overtime, Metro will have to be reimbursed. But there's a clause in there that says the reimbursement is subject to availability of funds. And so I wanted to just have you speak to us about that. What does that mean? And are we on the hook if they did not reimburse us?
Sure. So that's kind of a pretty standard clause in these type of task force agreements, and basically it's so that they have the funding and they run from fiscal year to fiscal year, and it's just so that they're not on the hook if something happens with their funding to paying overtime should that funding go away. These officers are doing this work anyways. It's assisting us by allowing us to broaden that network and interdict trafficking and narcotics across county lines, because obviously we only have jurisdiction within Davidson County and doesn't originate here and end here. These occur across state lines and even across national lines across the country. So that is a provision that I think is pretty standard in the task force agreements. I've never known them to not pay a reimbursement claim for overtime costs.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Yeah, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Any abstention? Thank you. Recommend approval. That one was 8-0. Okay. Somebody left? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. And then the last one on the resolution, RS item number 19, RS 2022-1680, Syracuse, Swaran, and Young approves an application for a multimodal access grant from the Tennessee Department of Transportation to the Metro Nashville Department of Transportation on multimodal infrastructure to provide additional funding for the construction phase of the Lebanon Pike Sidewalk project. Can I have a motion? All right. Any discussion? Any question? None? All right. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Abstention? You recommend approval. And, all right. That one is 9. We have a late resolution by Councilmember Allen and Welsh, approves Amendment 2 to a homeless Management Information System Capacity Building Project Grant Agreement between the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Metro Social Services Department to contribute to the national effort to end homelessness. Can I have a motion? I move and seconded. Councilmember Allen. I always have to look for it. There you are.
I will have to defer to someone else to explain what this is.
All right. Anybody knows what this is?
I support HMIS, and if we're giving them more money, then I think we need to do that, but I don't know the details of this.
It's just extended for 9 months. We're looking for it. Why is it late filed? It doesn't matter. Rules will decide that. Mm-hmm. All right, so the amendment is just to extend the contract for 9 months. Nothing else has changed. The dollar value is the same. Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Any abstention? All right, you recommend approval. And now we'll go to bills on second hearing. Item number 22, BL 2022-1314, by Councilmember All, amends Title 5 of the Metro Code to establish a development impact fee. There is an amendment. He's not here.
Councilman's not here, so
Oh.
no action can be taken.
Even if the person doing the amendment is here? Okay. So we have no letter, and then the person is not, so it's deferred by rule? All right. So next item, 23. All right. BL 2022-1372, Mendez Benedict amends Title 2, Chapter 210 of the Metro Code by adding an additional requirement to Nashville's Do Better Bill. Do I have a motion? Move and seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Mendez.
Thanks, Chair. Everybody probably remembers that the Do Better bill requires companies that seek certain type of economic development incentives to disclose certain information. They're not required to do anything other than disclose the information. As Do Better is currently formulated, the information mostly centers around the type of jobs that will be created and whether staffing agencies are used, whether there's training programs, apprentice programs, and OSHA violations. This would add another disclosure requirement for companies to also disclose whether they have employee benefits that include transportation, accommodation, and related costs when necessary to obtain medical treatment that is otherwise unavailable in the employee's home state, including reproductive health care treatments such as abortion. So basically, it just makes companies seeking economic development disclose whether they have an employee benefit to let employees cross state lines to get abortion or reproductive health treatment if necessary.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? You recommend approval. Thank you. Item number 24, BL 2022-1374, Allen and Young, amends Metro Code Section 15.48.300, new water meter installation, inspection charge to clarify charges for service related to meters. Do I have a motion? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I just want to say that I did talk to the water department, and according to them, this is just, I think they have a fixed price in the code right now for what they could charge. This language will allow it to where they can make changes and have a schedule if necessary. And that's just what the change is about. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstention? You recommend approval. Thank you. Item number 25, BL 2022-1375, Harlan Withers and Young, authorizes the granting of permanent and temporary construction easement to Piedmont Natural Gas Company for certain property owned by the Metro government located at 0 County Hospital Road, parcel number, all of that. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Any abstention? Thank you. You recommend approval. Item number 26, BL 2022-1376, Parker, Allen, Withers, and Young, authorizes the acquisition and conveyance of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights by condemnation for use in public properties of the Metro Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure for the Dickinson Pike sidewalk improvements. Can I have a motion? All right, any discussion? As a council member, Allen is here as a co-sponsor, so that's good. All right, say none. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? You recommend approval. All right, our last item on the agenda, item number 27, BL 2022-1329, Allen and Bradford permits the Metropolitan Tourism and Convention Commission to hold its public meetings at the offices of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Can I have a motion? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right. I know that we approved this last meeting, but it was sent back to us because there were questions in public facilities. And so, Councilmember Mendez.
Thanks. That's what I was about to ask about. I recall that the other committee had some questions about whether the facilities were appropriate for public meetings and could accommodate Metro Nashville Network, and just curious whether we have answers to that.
We have Mr. Chris Singleton here from IT, and Chris.
Andrea Arnold.
And Andrea Arnold also. All right, we'll able.
Hi, yes, we're fine to cover this meeting at that location. It's 4 meetings in a year, 4 hours total. So if we were to move it to another facility within Metro, it would still take 2 employees, so we're okay.
All right. Councilmember Syracuse, let me find you.
Test. Thank you, Vice Chair. Appreciate it. Councilmember Henderson couldn't be here today, so via council staff, she sent me a few questions just to ask, just 3. What is MNN's budget for special on-site recording locations such as parks, jury assembly room, etc.? Do we know that?
Question is, what is our budget for?
What's the budget for recording off-site meetings?
We don't keep an actual budget for off-site or on-site, but it's just the price of staff.
And like you said, it was
It would be the same had we go, for instance, we do a meeting at the Parks Board that takes two full-time employees. We send those out to do it, so
Okay,
it would
thanks.
be similar.
All right, next question. All right, so does MNN anticipate having another room set up for board and commission recordings similar to the Sunny West conference room where the Planning Commission meets?
We do not have one in the planning that I know of, so no.
All right. And then finally, can MNN provide a comprehensive assessment of where each board and commission meets and whether or not it is regularly recorded and or can be recorded at that location as needed?
Okay. So currently, right now, I believe there's 80 boards and commissions in Metro. We cover 30 of those boards and commissions on a regular basis. We have a fully functional control room in this building. We have one at the Howard office building. We have another one at Bransford Avenue at the MNPS admission building or administration building. Those meetings were set up to do live, so we can go with one person. We also have a mobile recording unit that we use. Actually, we have 2 of those currently, and those any facility in Metro that has a Tier 1 connection, we can run a live meeting from. So there's, I don't know exactly how many buildings, but we have multiple facilities throughout the city that we can use.
All right, thanks, Chris.
All right. Any other question? Ms. Andrea, will the Tourist and Convention Commission be paying anything to NCVC for using the facility?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. That was my question. Thank you. All right. Thank you both. All those in favor say aye. Oppose? Any abstention? You recommend approval, and that is our last bill. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.